himself a straight shot. Agnes asked me for some water, which I got for her. Philip had some philosophical idea he had evidently been developing in the course of the evening, and now I was going to hear about it. He said,
"I figured out a whole philosophy on the idea of waste as evil and creation as good. So long as you are creating something, it is good. The only sin is waste of your potentialities."
That sounded pretty silly to me, so I said, "Well, of course, I'm just a befuddled bartender, but what about Lifebuoy soap ads? Their creation's all right." And he said,
"Yeah, but you see, that's what you call wasteful creation. It's all dichotomized. Then there's creative waste, such as talking to you now."
So I said, "Yeah, but where are your criteria to tell waste from creation? Anybody can say that what he's doing is creation, whereas what everybody else is doing is waste. The thing is so general it don't mean a thing." Well, that seemed to hit him right between the eyes. I guess he hadn't been getting much opposition. At any rate, he dropped the philosophy, and I was glad to see it go, because such ideas belong in the "I don't want to hear about it" department, as far as I'm concerned. Philip then asked me if I had any marijuana, and I told him not much, but he insisted he wanted to smoke some. So I got it out of the desk drawer, and we lit a cigarette and passed it around. It was very poor stuff, and the one stick had no effect on anyone. Ryko, who had been sitting on the couch all this time without saying anything, said,
"I smoked 6 sticks in Port Arthur, Texas, and I don't remember a thing about Port Arthur, Texas."
I said, "Marijuana's very hard to get now, and I don't know where I'll get any more after this is gone." But Philip grabbed up another cigarette and started smoking it, so I filled my glass with Canadian Club. Right then it struck me as strange, since these guys never have any money, where this Canadian Club came from, so I asked them. Al said,
"Agnes lifted it out of a bar."
It seems Al and Agnes were standing at the end of the bar in the Pied Piper having a beer when Agnes suddenly said to Al,
"Pick up your change and follow me. I've got a bottle of Canadian Club under my coat."
Al followed her out, more scared than she was. He hadn't even seen her take it. This took place earlier in the evening, and the fifth was now about half gone. I congratulated Agnes, and she smiled complacently.
"It was easy," she said. "I'm going to do it again."
"Not when you're with me," I said to myself. Then there was a lull in the conversation, and I was too sleepy to say anything. There was some talk I didn't hear, and then I looked up just in time to see Philip bite a large piece of glass out of his cocktail glass and begin chewing it up, which made a noise you could hear across the room. Agnes and Ryko made faces like someone was scratching fingernails on a blackboard. Philip chewed up the glass fine and washed it down with Agnes's water. So then Al ate a piece too, and I got him a glass of water to wash it down with. Agnes asked if I thought they would die, and I said no, there was no danger if you chewed it up fine. It was like eating a little sand. All this talk about people dying from ground glass was hooey. Right then I got an idea for a gag, and I said, "I am neglecting my duties as a host. Is anyone hungry? I have something very special I just got today." At this point, Philip and Al were picking stray pieces of glass out from between their teeth. Al had gone into the bathroom to look at his gums in the mirror, and they were bleeding.
"Yes,"
said Al from the bathroom. Philip said he'd worked up an appetite on the glass. Al asked me if it was another package of food from my old lady, and I said, as a matter of fact, yes, something real good. So I went into the closet and fooled around for a while and came out with a lot of old razor blades on a plate with a jar of mustard. Philip said,
"You bastard, I'm really hungry."
And I felt pretty good about it and said, "Some gag, hey?" Ryko said,
"I saw some guy eat razor blades in Chicago. Razor blades, glass, and light globes. He finally ate a porcelain plate."
By this time, everyone was drunk except Agnes and me. Al was sitting at Philip's feet, looking up at him with a goofy expression on his face. I began to wish that everybody would go home.